Hi, I'm Lady Lexi K, and this is a tutorial. I haven't done one of these for a while. I normally only do these now if I get requests, and it makes it easier to try and explain something to somebody by making a video than it does by writing out a lot of text. Now, I've got a query from Potter13579. Now, I'm not quite sure what he's after, so I'll read it out. He said, just curious, but if I were to pinpoint an objective marker like ones you often see in open world games and such, or any sort of UI marker, it seems obvious that you'd want the text to be in scene. Always face the camera and always be on top so you could see it through the walls. But would you know of a way to make any sort of UI like this, but always be on screen at the corners, even if the camera looked away from the destination? Okay, the thing about text gadgets is the default for them is to be on screen. So if I just pop the text displayer down here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a UI imp from the collection. Let's get rid of all the drop shadows and everything. Let's make it a nice color. So let's just make it a turquoisey color like that, like a UI thing. Okay, so this text display here, this is always in front of everything. If you can see, it's in front of the tree, it's in front of the player, it's everything, and I can place it where I want to. And it's on screen, and it's not affected by the camera angles. It doesn't turn on and off. It's always on screen. So that is an ordinary text gadget. So if you wanted that, you've got a UI destination. I've accidentally put that in the player. Don't do that. Be careful about that. So you got this text displayer. If you just wanted that to pop up, I would use maybe a counter or something. I don't quite know what he's getting at here. So whether let's say in his game, this gives you an indication that there's something to be found in the world, for example. Okay, so we've got our text displayer. Let's create a little program then. So I'm going to use a selector. So we'll have nothing, and B is on. So we've got, so A won't show any text and B will. Okay, so we've got our selector like this. Okay, let's say our player needs to I don't know, let's you don't get the message that comes up until he's read the sign. So we'll put a sign here. Okay. And if he goes up to the sign, let's stick a program on the sign. Right, so if we detect the player, so we're detecting a possessed controller sensor, then we're going to turn a counter. We're going to increase the counter on this. When that counter is full, is B. Okay, so what's going to happen here is when we detect the player, this is going to turn this counter on, which is then going to turn on our little imp at the bottom. So I'm going to put some text in the world. There be treasure here. Yeah, we go. Sort of slightly piratey. We're going to make that in world. There we go. There be treasure here. Okay, so that will display if he's detected. Right, so we've got no imp, no nothing. There's a forget that treasure. We'll go over here. There be treasure here, and now we've got a little imp has appeared at the bottom right hand corner to tell us that there is treasure in the world. There we go. And to turn that off, so once you've detected the treasure, so to speak, let's copy this microchip, detach it from that and put it over here. So we're saying when detected, when we've detected the thing, then we're going to go straight to that, and that will turn the detection off. So right, we'll go over to our sign. There be treasure here. Oh, hello. Because we started detected. You set the count on that. Okay. Let's try that again. So there be treasure here. There we are. Our imp comes up. Let's go over to the treasure. We've now detected the treasure, so the imp goes away. There be treasure here. There we go. It's come back. And then I found the treasure, and the imp goes away. Okay? I think that is what he's after. Something similar to that. I'm not 100% sure. But let's have a look at how to do a normal detection. Forget this sign and forget this. Because this is a slightly odd situation. Right, so let's just put an ordinary marker on this chest. So I'm just going to put a text gadget on the chest. UI imp. There we go. I'll make it red this time. There we go. Right, so we've got a little red marker there. Now we need that in world. So we're going to change that to in scene. There we go. It's a bit small, isn't it? Let's make it bigger and put it above the chest. Look at the angles. Now you don't want a situation where the player can come at the chest from this angle and not be able to see the imp. So we want to have it face the camera always, so that we always see the imp. It doesn't matter where the camera is, as you can see. Now it's always going to have a nice smiley imp. And I also want it always on top, just in case there's something in front of it. Now if I don't have always on top, let me just click that off. Now this marker is hidden behind the tree. Now normally for markers you want it to be visible, so you wouldn't put it there, and there we go. So what I'm going to do is I just change that to always on top. And now you can see it through the tree and also the player. So you can always see it. There we are. That's how you would normally do a marker. Now let's say you only want that to appear when the player is close to you. Now you've got two options. You can put a trigger zone inside the object, or you can put a trigger zone inside the player. Now I prefer to put trigger zones inside the player. I think it makes more sense because the player is detecting this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a tag to my chest, and that tag output is going to turn on my text displayer, and I'm going to call my tag detect. You can call it anything you want. Objects, treasure chest, it doesn't really matter. Okay. And then in here, in my puppet logic, I'm going to stick in a trigger zone, and this is going to look for the tag of detect. I just push down on the D-pad, and the first thing, the tag in the scene comes up, detect. There we go. So when I detect the chest, it's going to display its little imp. So I want this quite big, and I'm going to have it in front of him. There we go. So that's how close he needs to be to the chest in order for it to detect. Okay, so at the moment you can't see it. Let's see, he gets close and it pops up. If he was to turn around, you can no longer see it. That's no good. Now let's see. There we go. It will show through the tree if I get close enough to it. There we go. So it's exactly the same as before, but we've got slightly different range. We've got a range for it, which is better for tags, for objective markers and things like that. There we go. So there we go. I think that covers pretty much everything that he wants from the question, and I hope that's helped some people out. Let me just say, this is quite a powerful thing. And if you only wanted the text, you didn't want the text to be in situ, like so to speak, then you could move this text displayer into here, and we'll just delete that link and put the link in here. Whoops. Like so. So now we've got this here, and we could put it in front of his face. So this is how you would do it for a first person view. You could put it within his line of view, or something like that. I mean, let's see what that does. So there's an indication now by his head, like an idea. The imp's like acting like an idea thing. It's like hovering around his head. It's like your imp is gone, hey, there's something you need to see. There we go. So it's not, and you could have like another detect zone that's really close. So you get really close, and then we could, using the power of keyframes, do something interesting here. Okay. Actually, let's have it red. Okay. But let's make it normally blue. Okay. So it's normally blue, and now we've got another trigger zone. We'll make it red. Hopefully, I think we've got. Yeah, the trigger zone is a bit like that. Okay. So it's blue until you get really close to it, and then it goes red. There we go. So you could do things like that. Boom. And that's going to be, and you can, like I say, you can position that anywhere you like. At the moment, it's in the world around his head. You could put it just on the screen at the bottom, just the same. And you could have a traffic light system where, you know, red is really close or green is really close, red is far away, whichever you want to do it. Red traffic light system. So it will change colour depending on the different sizes of trigger zones. Boom. There we go. Okay. I hope that's helpful. There's lots of little tips in there. Anybody who wants to know how to do anything, I can always make a little video for you. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in dreams.